I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. Let's welcome Whooith to the show. Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, and you're going on. I appreciate you coming on. Now, please introduce yourself to everybody.
Well, hello. My name is Whooith. I'm a Druid VTuber, also known as Druid Owl VTuber. In general, I'm just like a very pink Druid character that's an elf. And I mainly stream on Twitch, and I'm kind of a Twitter shit poster. So
yeah, you're pretty good at that. I follow and read along. I don't think I have the wit to keep up with anything like that. So I just enjoy, go along for the ride. So when did you get started with VTubing?
I got started back in 2023. I've been streaming. I've actually been streaming since 2017, but 2023 is when I switched over to being a VTuber.
Yeah. Did you find VTubing better or more to your liking than tubing the other way?
Yeah, I've never really been comfortable like using face cam or even honestly talking in general.
Well,
And I kind of felt being able to be a VTuber allowed me to express myself without having to show myself. Obviously that problem isn't really relevant anymore. It was mainly just like my identity outside of VTubing that was causing that.
yeah. And well, with this, I kind of point out that you still get to be you, but you get to set the narrative. And it's like you're going from like a high school to a college or moving somewhere. You haven't changed, but now the people that you're introducing yourself to don't know that you ripped your pants in fourth grade trying to pick up a pen.
hmm
You get to
Yeah,
you introduce yourself on your own terms.
yeah, I like the way that you're saying that. That's exactly that would probably be the best way to put it.
and I'm not just saying that because it happened to me, because it probably did. But yeah, I was in the same school for K through 12, so I didn't get away with anything all the way through. Believe me. So when you were able to make the switch over, did you find it more comfortable immediately, or did it take you some time?
Honestly, almost immediately, it was more comfortable for me. For a while, I was just like a streamer that didn't use a camera,
Hmm.
and being able to express myself without like trying to explain it over a mic was actually really nice.
Hmm.
I was pretty comfortable like immediately. I think the first game that I streamed as a VTuber was just like with this basic, one of the models that comes with like base VTube Studio,
Hmm.
and I just played Arc, and I remember that stream still. It
Hmm.
was just like really fun.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Either way you stream, whether you do with a icon or a avatar or a model or without one on screen, you really have to be able to get across your point and with your voice alone. Do you think having streamed before that it really helped you that way, or because you were so visual on the screen before it didn't really help?
I think my experience not having any type of visual indication of my emotions or like trying to make my point did help a lot.
Hmm.
I think I had a lot more experience going into the VTubing scene than most people, which is probably why my audience was able to grow very rapidly.
Well, that and personality, which was very nice, and people wanted to come back to it, and give yourself a little credit there. If you're not going to do it, I'll do it. It still does take the work to get it in, but sometimes it's still a personality driven sort of thing. If you want to expand your audience, they've got to like to want to come back and hear you and converse with you and be a part of your group.
Mhm.
And
That's actually sorry. That's actually the reason I got into streaming in general is because whenever I hung out with friends, like they always like found some of my humor very funny. So I was like, okay, let's try streaming this, and that's how I started back in 2017.
yeah, yeah. You kind of had the calling to being a bit of an entertainer online to start with.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and once you settled in, was it like, I found my place?
It actually wasn't until I became a VTuber that I really felt like it. I was
Mm,
just kind of like going at it for a long time. But honestly, that was probably the choice of game
mm.
over anything. I just, uh, I hate to admit it, but I was a Fortnite streamer before.
That's perfectly fine. Everybody's got. Believe me, if you, this is one thing. If people on that are VTubers or enjoy VTubers can't get over, you know, their own personal bias and be accepting on here, where are they ever going to do it at? I mean, it's pretty much lends itself to that because of the format and stuff. So don't be worried about that as far as I'm concerned. I couldn't play Fortnite to save my life. Now I am old and I have very little twitch muscle left, and I can't see very well, and I wouldn't be very good to start with. But it still takes skill, for crying out loud.
Hmm.
And I've got a coworker, and she goes from goes from off work at 11:30 at night to about 4 o'clock in the morning playing Fortnite. And
Kind of sounds like me, or at least before.
oh my gosh, and this is one of the sweetest people you ever want to meet. Just wouldn't harm a fly until you bring up Fortnite, and then suddenly it's like watching the Rambo movies where they put the stuff
Mhm.
under their eye and get caked in mud and get ready to fight.
It's that competitive side just comes right out.
Oh, mean. They're getting mean. So when did you decide to move on from Fortnite to other games?
I don't really know when. I think it's probably because I also did a lot of 5M or GTRP, if as people are not more familiar with. I did that for probably like 2 or 3 years, and that's probably what made me move on from Fortnite like fully.
Yeah, that's a Grand Theft Auto role playing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got one in a row. I'm good. I'm good today. Um, so what brought you to that? Was it the chance to kind of do some open world type things and expand your horizons a little bit, or was it just fun?
I think it's just fun. I remember first seeing people do it on I don't know if you've ever heard of Lyric. He's a Twitch
Hmm.
streamer.
Hmm.
He used to do GTRP like a long time ago. I used to watch him and I was like, this looks really interesting. I'd love to try it. And when I got that opportunity in 20, I think it was 2019 that I got that opportunity to try it for the first time. And I was like, oh, well, this is like really fun.
When my wife and I got it, it was the one we got was San Andreas, um, and we both played it, and we got to the point where I think pretty much everybody does, and there was a section that was really boring in the story, so we just went around and started blowing things up. Um, like, well, the heck with it. Now we got the cheat codes. Let's go blow things up. Um, so tell me, what is the difference between playing a game and doing the RP for it? Is there are you kind of just ignoring the game, or is it a whole different concept?
It's a completely different concept. You're actually role playing like you are that character usually.
Hmm.
Like that's the most common type of role play. But there's varied, like you can role play as a cop, you can role play as a criminal. Some bigger servers might have a DOJ where you can be a judge or a lawyer,
Wow.
drug dealer, etc. You can just be, it's just like a role playing as long as it's like within the bounds
Mm.
of mechanics. Usually, you can pretty much do everything.
Wow.
Um, I mean, I've role played a freaking police dog on it before, so I mean, you can kind of do everything.
That's a whole nother kettle of fish, isn't it? I mean,
Hmm.
that's really wild. To me, the kind of work to put in something like that is kind of beyond me yet to be able to think about. Heck, I used to compute. My first computer was a Commodore 64 for crying out loud. So I can't imagine trying to work and work through the code and try to get that to all work together. But it's pretty amazing. When you got on first back in 2017, were you doing streaming then, or were you doing recorded things?
My mind's a little fuzzy on everything because I do remember making YouTube videos for a game called Dark and Light like a long time ago.
Hmm.
I used to make like tutorial videos. Dark and Light's like a it's a game made by Snail Games. Got been in a while ago. It's kind of like Ark, but it's more like fantasy setting.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah,
I mean, I remember making tutorial videos, and that YouTube channel had gotten rather big just because it was such a niche audience.
hmm,
But I don't remember the time frame because I deleted that channel a long time ago.
ah,
But I think it was probably before 2017.
yeah, yeah. So, did you, would you, did you just find being live more fun, easier, both?
Um, yeah, I would probably say like I just enjoyed it more because I don't really feel like I've ever really had a creative side when it comes to, sitting down and trying to make a video.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean that's very scripted,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm more of like an improv type of person.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've seen your streams. Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's fun and improv. I'll tell you that. It's fun to be a part of it. Um,
Hmm.
for some people, um, they just seem to their creativity is kind of forced out of them when they don't have a net. And going on live, you definitely don't have a net. It's whatever comes up, you're gonna play. Whatever the card you get, you better lay it down because it's people will know in a hurry when you're trying to fake it.
Hmm.
Mhm. Have you had any live situations come up that were really tough for you to get around?
Um, I I couldn't really say. I mean, sometimes I do have trouble with like dead space and
Mm.
like dead noise. Like if there's not something to talk about, I'll be like, I don't know, what do I say? And then I think of something funny on a whim, and I'm good from there.
Yeah.
But I would probably say that's just like due to being rusty. 'Cause
Mm.
I mean, I just came back recently, so.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really that is that's tough to teach anybody. Being able to do that, to be agile enough to fill the gaps and circle back sometimes when you need to. We used to have to do it in radio because we would play music, and every hour at 000 at the top of the hour, we had to go to a network news. So we had to what we call back time. If a song ended at 57 after the hour, we had to talk for 3 minutes or play commercials or something along those lines because we didn't want to interrupt the middle of the song and go to news at the top of the hour. At least if you wanted to keep your job, you didn't do that. Um, and so we were kind of forced to learn how to try and fill in the gaps. Um, but there's very few people who have that kind of uh, ability naturally. Did it take a while for you to learn?
Oh yeah, it definitely did. I didn't really see a huge explosion of any interest in my streams for a very long time because I just again I would just stare at a computer screen, just kind of giggle at something once in a while and not really know what I'm doing. But eventually I'm like, okay, well, let's try this the real way. And, I try to actually like just talk more about what I'm doing or what I'm thinking about, and stuff like that. And it just kind of came naturally over time.
Mhm. Have you got it down now to where you can kind of keep chat and the game going at the same time?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that tough to figure out, or did it come to you? And did it come to you all of a sudden?
No, it just took a lot of, it's just experience.
Mm. Yeah. The more times you get in the pool, the easier it is to swim usually, unless, of course, there's a shark in the pool, but that's a different story. Um, the the entire thing with a lot of hosts, and I guess I would call VTubers hosts of their streams, is being comfortable behind the microphone. And it sounds like you are more comfortable with the avatar than you were without it. Do you think that actually really helped you settle into being more in touch with your chat?
Yeah, I think that my chat connects with me a lot better because of who in general.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's just like, bright and colorful and just always laughing.
Yeah.
And that's something that you can't really see if you don't have a mic, or sorry, not a mic, a camera.
Hmm.
Um, so that's why I've actually invested so much time and money into my model in general.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you come up with the model yourself?
The original design of Whooith was based off of my druid on World of Warcraft.
Mm.
Um, and that was like the base idea for the character as a druid character. And it's actually my wife, my actual partner in real life. She's the one who came up with the actual design of the character.
Oh.
And if pretty much my 1.0 is like almost a direct design of her original sketch.
Yeah.
But the 2.0 I went for more of a modern take on it.
Hmm. Yeah. So you just kind of updated the you didn't change it so much as you kind of updated the look.
Yep.
Yeah. And right now, I mean, folks, you're looking at the updated look right now. Now we got an updated logo coming pretty soon. We were kind of hoping to get it tonight, but we didn't.
Mhm.
That's the way things are. But maybe we'll update it ourselves a little later, when things come down to it. But um, good things come to those who wait, and
Mhm.
also other things too come to those who wait, and you just have to deal with those as well. Um, so with for you, did you when you switched over to doing the VTuber thing, did you have any preconceived notions as to how you would do or what you wanted to do with the Huth?
No, not really at all. It was I think we put together the actual original character or OC
Hmm.
within probably like 2 or 3 days, and within a few weeks we already had a model artist like drawing it.
Hmm. Yeah. So you didn't have like a 8 month plan to try and bring it all together before you went on and have a big half-hour lore video ready to go or anything like that?
No, I was originally gonna do like a lore video, and I was like I was like, there's no way I have any more in my budget to do it because my
Hmm.
first model was like $1,000.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, that's like
so
4 cars for me.
yeah. So I just decided not to do it and just do it like a normal debut of like the pretty much the usual typical like explaining about the character and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I mean it wasn't anything fancy. I don't actually remember the exact time. Oh, I know that we had the model started being made in March and it was done by the end of May. So it took about 2 months total.
No, no, that's not bad. Not bad for wanting to get exactly what you want, and since you already had the basic model ready to go, was it exactly what you wanted when you started?
The first model, um, I guess I should back up a little bit. The very first rendition of Who It was based on the actual like first sketch from my model maker, and I just
Mhm.
used like a typical Vroid model that I just
Right.
kind of made it look like it a little bit.
Ah, yeah. Yeah.
So I wouldn't really call that like my 1.0, but that was technically the first rendition of Who It.
We'll call it zero point
Um,
0.7,
yeah, something like that.
and then we rounded it up when the first model actually came in. Um, yeah.
Mhm.
Sometimes
Um,
sometimes you just have to
to
MacGyver
further on
it.
that,
Go ahead.
sorry. I want to answer the rest of your question.
Uh-huh.
Um, so you said like, was it what I was looking for? No, not really. I had realized like probably within 2 months of my debut that I didn't really like my 1.0.
Mm,
So we had started on a new model for within like 2 months, and that didn't get completed for about a year.
mm. Yeah, yeah. I don't. You're an artist, right?
No, I am not.
Oh, I thought you were. I thought you were talking about displaying art when you came on. But um, it seems to me, and I'm certainly no artist, so you're automatically 10 million times the artist I am. Zero is much better than whatever I am. Um, the it seems like that to really get what you want, you're just gonna have to assume you're gonna wait a while for it.
Yeah, when it comes to pretty much this industry, it's a very time consuming process for, you know, even this is something as simple as like a like illustrations and stuff like that. Like,
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
mean, the logo itself I commissioned probably like almost 3 weeks ago, and I'm still waiting on it. It's just a patience thing.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if I could do that. The It's one thing to have to get a piece of production work in radio and say you have to have this done by the end of the day, because it's all scripted out and ready to go for me. I just have to read the line and or lines and put the music under it. But to hear from somebody else what they exactly want and then have to put it to paper or computer like that, that would, I don't know if I could do something like that. That takes a lot of talent and patience, of which I have not very much of either. It is a heck of a thing, and two, there's seems to be the folks who are really really good are very very busy.
Yeah, there's I mean, I've literally watched artists, be so busy that they're, getting 3 hours of sleep a night, but they're still pumping out like sometimes hundreds of, you know, pretty much I don't know if you ever heard of like YCH, your character here,
Hmm.
stuff like that, like
Right?
even like emote artists, logo artists, and like I'll just see them, it's like they're just so tired and they're just constantly working, and I couldn't do it either. I'm not
Yeah,
an artist, so that's why I always have like a lot of respect for artists because they're just doing so much that people who are not artists don't really understand.
yeah, yeah. And now that's what make the folks who aren't really artists that try to get money from you and then sit and wait until you give up. That's what makes it even worse because um, there are some people who are really really talented and absolutely refuse to give you anything that's not the perfect final product. And we should be kind of patting them on the head for their diligence rather than lumping them in with other people who just take your money and run. Um, and I really hope that we can find some way to really separate the wheat from the chaff as far as that goes, because um,
Mhm.
and of course we got the computers in there too that we need to boot out as quickly as possible. But you know, I mean, it's that's one other thing that I enjoy very much about doing these interviews and talking with everybody involved in VTubing is that it's very human. No matter what the avatar is and what you present yourself as, the person behind it is very human, and the reasons are all human, and everybody's got different reasons. Have you found that in your VTubing trail?
Yeah, pretty much everyone has some reason for to be in the space. I've noticed a lot of people just like use it as an escape, and I kind of do in some aspects too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is have you found that some of the things you've been able to do online, you've been able to translate into dealing with people face to face?
Yeah, I think that since I've become a VTuber, I've actually become a lot more outgoing IRL too.
Yeah. Has anybody come up and noticed that you were a VTuber?
No, no, I live in the Midwest, so I mean you're not going to see that as much over, in the middle of the US.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens to radio people too here in the middle of the U.S. I'm probably not too far away from you right now. I'm in the middle of Illinois, which is about as Midwest as you can get. Um, in fact, I think they stamp it on our feet when we're born. Uh, that you got to be about as Midwest as you can. But I think that we're getting now to the point with VTubers that we're just getting more and more countries and people getting involved in countries. There are a lot of places that you would hardly hear about, but they're pretty crazy about VTubing.
Yeah, it's become quite a global reach type of thing. It's I mean to some extent that's the same applies to regular YouTubers as well. They'll
Hmm.
find out that they have like huge audiences in these countries that they might not have even heard of before. That's just It's one of the most amazing things about the internet in general, though.
No, the world is very small now, and I when I started in radio, the world was very big and expensive. Um, and to do something like this interview show would cost a lot of money, and the quality would be really bad to start with. But now you have a chance when you come on. I mean, you don't know exactly when you start if you don't recognize the person in chat where they're from, but they could be literally standing on the other side of the planet, upside down from you.
Mhm.
Has that hit you between the eyes every once in a while, where you realize that these people are all over the world, coming to be a part of what you're doing?
No, that definitely happens to me all the time. I'll run into someone and I'll really vibe with them, and then I'll realize that they're in like the UK or something. I was like, oh wow, that's really cool.
it's it to realize that there are so many people involved, whether it's they stream one time every month, or they're trying to make a full time living out of it, or anything in between. But they could be in Chile, they could be in New Zealand, or Singapore, or Turkey, or the UK, and I've interviewed everybody from people in all those countries as I've been doing this. Um, Practically every time zone is going to be covered in this sooner or later, which is interesting for me trying to schedule interviews, but is kind of interesting for other people too. How do you feel your audience is going to go, and are you getting the growth that you would like at this point?
Well, that almost seems kind of like I think I'm very happy with the growth that I have returning because I'm pretty sure you might have mentioned it, but yeah, I'm just coming back after basically being gone for like a year and a half.
Hmm.
Um, but with that in mind, I'm actually very surprised about how fast it's kind of growing back to where it was before.
Yeah, yeah. And are there a lot of people who are of those folks? Have they? I wouldn't say waited for you, but they came back as soon as they knew you were here.
I've had a few people who were just like so happy to see me and just like really excited about it,
Yeah,
and it's like it's almost like I never left.
yeah. How does that hit you?
It's always a nice thing. I like talking to people.
Yeah, and realize that you realize after that long a period of time, and then having them coming back and welcoming you with open arms, that it really was you they were coming for.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I didn't even. It's not like I jumped right back into being a Twitter shit poster immediately. It took me like a few weeks before I was like, okay, let's try it again.
You have to get practice. You have to fire off a few. So what about that do you enjoy so much? Just being able to fire something that uh, from the sidelines and see if you hit the mark, or what brings you to enjoying that so much?
I honestly could not explain that if I tried. I guess if I had to sum it up though, is I just like the engagement I get with people that would never normally come look at my stream. Because especially on a place like Twitter, where it's just kind of like it's like a mixed bag of people.
Yeah.
Um, and sometimes they're not always friendly, but that's with any space. It's not really that's not really any different from any other space. I yeah, I don't really know why I enjoy it. I guess it's just fun.
Yeah, yeah. It's sometimes it's like hand grenade hand grenade hot potato,
Hmm.
but it can be fun as long as you're not on the other end of it when it does go off. Um, would you rather stick with that, or go to a space that's a little bit more along your line of thinking most of the time?
I'm not actually a huge fan of I guess you would use the term but residing in an echo chamber because
Mm,
like if I go to a place that everyone just agrees with me, then there's no debate, there's no I don't know. It's just it's weird to me, and that's why I just prefer being in a place where I'm gonna have people disagree with me, and there's also people that are going to agree with me, and it's again a mixed bag.
Well, if you're just hearing the same things over and over again, you're not learning anything. They're not learning anything. Um, gets pretty boring after a while, even if it is something you're really passionate about. Um, and you're kind of spinning your tires, aren't you?
Hmm.
And and while it's nice to be in a place where people aren't trying to find out your dentistry records if you say something they don't like, but it is nice to be able to have some real discourse. Um, is there still discourse to be found on Twitter that doesn't devolve into name calling at this point?
Yeah, I definitely would say that. Not everything is always super negative. Not everything's always super dramatic. Sometimes it's just like a bunch of people having fun, sharing ideas and art and stuff like that.
Mhm. Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, I come from sports radio for a long time, and there are certain times when you can have a good discussion, but then it devolved very quickly into at one time I actually, this is an actual true story. During a year where the football team I was covering did not win a single game, someone went and looked up the police records of an Eric Loy and posted them online in the local fan forum. They weren't
Oh.
mine, but I mean, I give them credit for their diligence, but it wasn't mine. But it's people will go the excess if they really get involved in it. You haven't had that happen, have you, where people have really gone off on you?
I wouldn't say in the VTubers space. I think the worst I ever got it was when I was still in the GTRP scene. There was I don't know. I don't really want to circle too much back to it, but I actually learned how to code. I'm a programmer as well, so I learned
Mm.
how to code doing that stuff. And I guess some people just didn't like the way I did some things, so I did have some haters back then.
Code haters. They didn't like the way you were coding things.
I guess you could put it that way, yeah.
That is something that is not even in my universe. I guess that makes sense if you were using a code that they weren't using, or is it one of those Linux versus Unix type things?
No, I would say it's if I want to compare it to something, it's like just if you were like running a business.
Mm.
It's the same concept. Like someone doesn't like how a certain person runs their business. It's exactly like that.
Oh, okay. Because that I first of all, coding is well out of my IQ zip code, and then to have two people arguing about it, um, it just kind of makes my head hurt. I mean, I did a little bit of programming for the old Commodore 64, but it was no graphics. But you really didn't have graphics back then anyway. Um, and I couldn't even fathom what it's like. Did you take a lot of courses for it, or were you self-taught, or
I was completely self-taught.
really?
Hmm.
Wow. How I mean, how long did it take for you to start before you were able to do some things?
I just kind of just jumped in and I was able to like create something within I want to say like 2 weeks, and then I was making like entire infrastructure and frameworks within a year, I think.
Where do you keep all the extra brain?
I honestly don't know.
I mean, I've got a big old pumpkin head, but I couldn't fit enough brain in there to do something like that.
I don't even get it because I feel stupid half the time, and then you just put some code in front of me, and I know exactly what it says and like what to do with it.
Well, that's not. I mean, that's amazing stuff. That's like being to me to watch somebody use code and be very fluent in it is a lot like watching somebody play a piano, in when they could sit down and just play something from memory, to give them that and watch them just go at it, uh, is pretty fascinating to me. Um, did you learn code out of just wanting to be able to do something different with a computer, or is it because you watched somebody else do it and wanted to try it yourself?
It's kind of a mix between that I was always kind of interested in, and also I just wanted to help out like where I was at. Like on one of the servers, they needed help, and I was like, I'm gonna try it out, and we'll see if it goes anywhere.
That's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. And then that you're able to do it yourself says a lot about you and your character, being able to do something along those lines. Um, so now that you're a VTuber at this extent, and you're coming back, and your audience is coming back, um, do you have any goals set for yourself now in the next few years?
So my goal right now is just to get like a nice schedule down to the point where I can actually like balance my schedule, and then I'm gonna be going back to actually doing coding and probably working on my own game.
Mm. So you have an idea, do you?
Yeah.
Have you already started working on it, or are you going to come back to it, or how's this working?
I- I'm still stuck in the early stages of do I want to use C++ plus plus or do I want to use C sharp? It's pretty much where I'm at right now.
And again, talking different languages. I don't know. At least I've heard of them. That's about a. What is the difference between C plus plus and C sharp?
Well, they're both object oriented, but I wouldn't say they're that much different. They're both like a C language,
Mm.
but C sharp in general is used in the Unity engine, and C++ plus plus is used in the Unreal Engine.
Oh, so you couldn't use one in the other engine.
Not very easily now.
No. Well, you'd have to adapt it, and if you're going to adapt it, you might as well just use the one that works for it.
Hmm.
Yeah. So you're obviously fluent in both because you're able to make the choice between the two. Which one are you leaning towards right now?
Actually, I'm not fluent in both. I don't know anything about C sharp. I only know stuff about C++. plus plus.
Oh,
But it's the nice thing about programming is once you learn one, it's so easy to learn another one.
oh, well, I, 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 I tip my hat to you because I am completely lost when it comes to those things. Um, I knew how to do it when it was 25 pages of data, on a Apple Basic, Apple II, or Commodore 64. That much I knew, but after that, it got to be too much, and the graphics alone are. So, about the game itself, can you spill any beans on what it's about?
No.
Hmm. Are you gonna keep us all in stitches waiting?
It's just gonna have to be that way.
Oh, that's mean. So, can you tell us what type of game it's going to be?
It's I would say it's kind of leaning more towards a crafting game.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, so we'll just say, let's say a possible crafting game from Whooith coming up. Does- And you sound the lack of sound comes like, well, you're completely wrong. Have I missed it completely?
I'm not gonna like make any promises on that because it might be something I just like. I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh,
So, because I also have another friend who wants to work on a game together. That I'm not gonna give any details on that, but that's why I was considering like maybe switching to Unity because then I can actually work with someone else, which is a lot more fun than just doing it by yourself.
yeah, yeah. Oh, those folks who put together the games on their own, the folks behind like the Stardew Valleys and that sort of thing, they're they're something else.
Hmm.
That games, people who could come up with that, and independent game makers who don't have to answer to corporations. Um, would you rather play a game like that where it's from an independent person that didn't have to look at the bottom line so much when they were doing the games?
I don't really have a preference when it comes to that type of stuff. It's just based on the gameplay and like what type of game it is. I
Mm-hmm.
don't really look at like who makes it.
Hmm. Yeah, so you're not looking at the when you're playing the game and knowing what you do about the languages and stuff. You don't look at it and see, I could have done that better. I would have done it this way. I would have done it that way.
Oh no, I think like that all the time.
Yeah. Does it affect how you enjoy a game?
It used to, but not anymore.
Mm, yeah. Is there what would have driven you nuts before and would have just stopped the game for you?
Well, for instance, when I was working as a developer for GTRP, I would try to actually like get on and play it again, and I just like, oh, that's a bug right there. I gotta go fix that, and I would just get off.
Just stop immediately. Go fix the bug. Come back.
Then you
So
find another one, yeah.
yeah, and then of course you walk in another one. I don't know if I could be that precise with it, but it sounds like it's right up your alley. It sounds like something you're going to be really enjoying as you do. What's keeping you from going at it right now besides talking to an old man here?
I just I need to take a break from it. I almost feel like I burnt myself out when I before I decided to fully come back as a VTuber. I
Mm,
was just like doing it so much, and
mm,
I was like, I really need to find something to mix it up, and
yeah.
that's why it's kind of like a teeter totter. Like I'm going really heavy into VTubing, but once I actually find that balance, I'll go back to working on that stuff.
Ah, yeah, yeah. It's one of those things where you can burn yourself out pretty quick, I imagine. Something that becomes a labor of love turns into just a labor.
Hmm.
And you don't feel the same way about doing it, and it becomes a big problem along those lines. You see people do that all the time with projects on their own. Um, so has that happened to you with this, where it just got to be more work than enjoyment?
Yeah, that's almost exactly what happened there.
Mm, yeah, but you're about ready to go again, right?
Yeah, eventually.
Mm, okay. Well, you just let us know when that goes on because we want to keep an eye on what's happening with you in this. I mean, you sound like you really got your head on your shoulders straight up and ready to go with this, and are coming back strong. Folks are coming back to you. They obviously missed you, and I've seen this stream. It's just a lot of fun to be around. So, folks, we're gonna have plenty of links for you to check out what Whooith has got going on, and in the description for this video. I thank you so much for coming on, and I hope we get you on again before it's all over with. And keep us updated on that game once you get going, okay?
Oh, I definitely will.
Thanks so much for coming on.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.